it going, guys? It's K Cars, and in this video I wanted to do a part 2 of my video that I did like 4 or 5 years ago, back whenever I was talking about things you should know before buying a Dodge Challenger ScatPack. So let's get right into the video. So whenever I first posted that video like 4 years ago, I was saying a lot of negative things about this car, and I think the reason for that is, you know, it was completely stock back then, and even on the stock tires it really didn't have too much grip, which is pretty much the main complaint that most people have when getting a car like this. So of course this new version of the Challenger came out in 2015, and I believe in the later years, it might have been like 2017 or 18, they actually did introduce I think it's called the performance package, so you actually can upgrade the tires with that package. They actually are 275s. So back in 2016, which is what this car is, the only size tires that you could get were 245, 45, 20. And if you guys have seen some of my previous videos where I talked about the new tires, then you can see right here we do have brand new Michelins on this thing, and these are 275s. So I can show you right there. We got 275 40 20, huge upgrade. And I know this is like it's like a huge question in the Challenger and Charger community, is like, what is the widest size tire that you can fit on the stock wheels? So the stock wheels on this thing are 9 inches wide, so they're 20 by 9s. That's the only size that you could get back in 2016. And I believe whenever they introduced that performance package, I think the wheel width actually increased to a 9.5, which is what they had on the Hellcats back in 2016. So back in 2016, which is the year of this car, of course, the Hellcats did come with 275s, and they also came with 9.5-inch wheels, which is exactly what the performance pack includes on the ScatPacks. But as you guys can see, the 275s did fit on the 9-inch wheels. Now if we look on the side here, you can kind of barely see that they stick out just a little bit, but it's definitely something you do notice. You can kind of see like the concavity of the wheel right there has that concave effect. But yeah, whenever I was thinking about getting these tires, I was debating whether or not to get new wheels, like wider wheels. The wheels that I was looking at were Ferrata FR4s. They're like the really deep concave. I'll throw up a picture of those right over here. So as you guys can see, those wheels actually do look pretty nice in my opinion. I think they would go really well with the Challenger, especially with those beefier tires. If I would have gotten those wheels, I probably would have gone with like a 305 size tire in the rear and maybe kept the 245s or 275s up front. I think that staggered look would make it look a lot better and also perform a little bit better, especially in a straight line, which is basically what this car is made to do. You know, it's not made to take turns like a BRZ or a Miata or a Porsche or anything like that. This car is made to go in a straight line, and you know, that's what it's good at. You know, with a set of tires, this is a pretty good straight line car. I'll throw up a few pulls right here. So as you guys saw from those videos, you really can make these cars good straight line cars. Of course, from the factory, they're not going to be that great. If you guys saw TJ Hunt's one of his recent videos where he drove the yellow Hellcat on the drag strip, they couldn't get that thing to hook at all. Like even using launch control, without launch control, even, you know, with the computer like doing all the traction stuff and that. But yeah, they were not able to get that thing to hook, and that's because it was on the stock tires. And even that car, the one that TJ drove, I believe that one had the 305 tires, which is I think that's what the wide bodies come with. So I really think Dodge should be putting better tires on the Challengers, because you do want to be able to, you know, race these things stock on a drag strip, of course, and even on a prepped surface. If you can't go from a dig, then I really do think that Dodge should be putting grippier and wider tires on their sports cars like this. But you know, just for a simple tire upgrade, you can definitely get a lot more performance out of these cars. That's literally the only thing you need to upgrade, as long as the wheels are wide enough to fit the tires that you want to get. So now that we've talked about the tires and got all that out of the way, that's pretty much the only complaint that I've had with this car. I know in my video that I posted like 4 or 5 years ago, I was pretty much complaining about everything about this car, but looking back on it, you know, having this car, driving it for, you know, 5 years, 27,000 miles so far, just regular maintenance, it's been extremely reliable for me. Like I said, the only actual like repair, I guess it's not even a repair, but the only thing I've had to do is replace the tires. And other than that, if you just do regular oil changes, stuff like that, then yeah, it's gonna be very reliable as long as you know, drive it like you should, you know, follow all laws and stuff like that, even though, you know, most of us probably don't do that. And you know, most of the time I actually do drive this thing like a grandma, because you know, I don't want to get tickets, I don't want to get caught by the police for, you know, doing stuff that I shouldn't be doing, especially out in public and around other people. But you know, there is a time and a place to actually, you know, do fun stuff. You just have to know when to do it. But yeah, I think the reason that I've had so much luck with the reliability of this car is just because I kind of just drive it like a grandma for most of the time. So yeah, just regular oil changes. Of course, you got to keep up with maintenance. But yeah, haven't had any issues with this car. The first drive that I took it on, I know I mentioned this in a few of my previous videos, but the first drive that I took this thing on, I got a check engine light for the stability control. I don't really remember what it said. I think it said service stability control or something like that, but it actually ended up going away by itself. So I really can't tell what actually was wrong with it. I heard that it could have just been because of the elevation change maybe, so that could have triggered that check engine light for the stability control. But yeah, let's go ahead and pop the hood and talk about some other things on this car. All right, so we got the hood latch right there. See if I know how to do this. There we go. All right, so let's talk about what's done to this car. Other than the tires, if you guys are new to the channel, we also do have long tube headers, catless mid pipes, and a mid muffler delete. So it's kind of difficult to see the headers from here. You can barely see them down there. You can see them a lot better if we go through the side here. So there you can see the long tube headers, and you guys might be able to see the mid pipes if I put the GoPro all the way underneath maybe. So yeah, not really sure how well you guys could see down there, but callus mid pipes, long tube headers, mid muffler delete, and I do still have the stock resonators on the back of this thing, so it's not a complete straight pipe. So yeah, there's the resonators back there. I know some people do like a complete straight pipe, callus mid pipes, mid muffler delete, and resonator delete. Actually, one of my friends, Saif, with the Pro Charged 392 SRT 392, it's the blue one that I made a video on a few years ago, he actually has a complete straight pipe. Definitely sounds insane, but it's also pretty raspy, so it's all personal preference of the kind of sound that you're looking for. So a few people on my videos have asked me what cold air intake do I have on this thing. So if you get the shaker package on these cars, I believe they actually come stock with the Mopar cold air intake, which is what this is. So I don't believe that the regular ScatPacks come with a cold air intake. I could be mistaken on that. Somebody correct me down below if I am. But yeah, the shakers do come with the Mopar cold air intake. So that's what that is right there. It's not an aftermarket part or anything, but yeah, that's what that is. So then also we have this catch can right here. which gets hot very quickly, and I just drove this car, so I'm not gonna unscrew it or anything. But I usually empty that thing every other oil change, which I just did an oil change on this thing like last week, I think, and it was about 2/3 of the way full. So I'd say every other oil change, if not every oil change, you should definitely be emptying your catch can if you have one. And I definitely would recommend getting one if you don't have one, just because, you know, I don't know the exact details of how this thing works, but you don't want all that blow by going back into your engine. So that's the purpose of a catch can. Everything else is stock, and as you can see, if we inspect the belt and everything, all the pulleys look really good. You can see there's no like wrinkles or anything in the belt. Everything looks good. You can see all the ribs are all aligned and everything. If we look really closely, you can kind of see a little bit of oil right there maybe, but it's, you know, it doesn't have like a leak or anything, or at least it's not a noticeable leak. So I don't think that's anything to be worried about, because there's no oil like down below that area. But yeah, that's the first time I'm noticing that, so might be something to just watch out for here in the future. But yeah, not a big deal right there, as long as it's not like leaking. So another thing that we can talk about here is the PCM, which I do believe is right over here under this little black plastic part right here. So that is an unlocked PCM. So in order to actually get a tune on these cars, you have to either take the PCM out and send it out to get it unlocked. Some people do that, or some people, like what I did, you can just buy a brand new unlocked PCM. So that's the route that I went with this thing whenever I got it tuned on the dyno. So everything that was done to this car, like all the important mods, I guess, were done by OST Dyno up near Pittsburgh. So they installed the long tube headers and catless mid pipes. They put the PCM in there, and they also did the dyno tune on this thing. Now for the mid muffler delete and tires, I took that to a different local shop. But yeah, I would definitely recommend OST Dyno for performance modifications. If you have a Challenger or Charger or any Mopar, they pretty much specialize in all Mopars like that. It actually picked up 48 horsepower after the mods and tune. So stock on the dyno, it put down 422. And some people have asked me about this, you know, because in my videos I've talked about like stock, it put down 422, and you know, the stock numbers for these cars are 485. So you have to keep in mind the 485 is actually crank horsepower, so the 422 is wheel horsepower. So of course you do have some horsepower loss whenever you compare crank to wheel horsepower. The way that I've seen it explained is that you can kind of compare it to your income. You can say like, you know, crank horsepower is like your gross income, and then wheel horsepower is like your net income. That's a good way to think about it, because it kind of like, you know, robs you of your power. So now that we've talked about the performance modifications, the reliability, and the tires, I also wanted to talk to you guys about some of the cosmetic mods that I've done to this car. So pretty much all the cosmetic things I have purchased from ZL1 add-ons. They obviously make parts for ZL1 Camaros, but they also make parts like cosmetic modifications for other sports cars as well. So starting off with the cosmetic mods, we do have these rock guards from ZL1 add-ons. We got the front, and we have the rear right over here. And I know somebody has commented on one of my videos before, and they said mud flaps belong on tractors, not sports cars. Didn't really understand what was meant by that. I think they look pretty good. They definitely save the paint from rock chips and stuff like that. I don't have, you know, I don't have any visible rock chips here. So, I mean, they've definitely saved a lot of rock chips right there. So yeah, I think they look pretty good. And then next up we have the side skirts, also from ZL1 add-ons. Now these things screw onto the pinch welds right over here. They just pinch onto the metal piece, so you don't actually have to screw anything into the metal, which I think is good. But a lot of people have said that these side skirts actually cause the vehicle to rust a lot quicker. Hopefully I don't have to deal with any kind of rust issues like on the Jeep. But anyways, here we also have the diffuser. This thing was actually pretty simple, a lot more easier to install than I was expecting. I do have an installation video if you guys want to go check that out. But yeah, I think it looks really good. Definitely adds a lot to the back of the car. Let's do a quick walk around right here. Yeah, I think it definitely adds a lot. And of course, we do have the tail light tint over the reverse lights over there. I think it looks pretty good. This is not actually up badging because it says SRT powered. If it was just the SRT, then yes, that would be up badging. But let me show you guys right over here. Powered by SRT, you know, I feel like that means the same thing as SRT powered. So yeah, I mean, that's my explanation for why that is not up badging. Then we also do have 35% window tint all around except for the front windshield. Definitely looks a lot better than a fishbowl. Like I said, guys, I really haven't had any issues with this car except for the fact that it comes with 2 skinny tires, you know, for the amount of power and weight that this thing has. I definitely do think that the ScatPacks should have came with 275s completely stock. I know that they are offering that performance pack, which includes the 275s from the factory now, which I think is a very good offer from Dodge. And I think they should have been doing that, you know, since 2015, ever since these cars came out. And then as for the Hellcats, I do think they should have came with 305s or even bigger tires. But yeah, 245s for this kind of car really just isn't enough. So that is my only real complaint. But other than that, like I said, haven't had any kind of reliability issues. You know, as long as you keep up with the maintenance, don't beat on the car too hard. You know, you can get yourself an oil catch can if you want as well. I think it helps out a lot. I know a lot of people say that Dodges are not reliable at all, but you know, haven't had any issues with this thing. So I kind of disagree with that statement. As long as you take care of your Dodge vehicle, then yeah, you're gonna have something reliable. But yeah, anyways, like I said in the beginning, this was just a part 2 of the video that I made like 4 years ago, talking about things you should know before buying a Dodge Challenger ScatPack. So yeah, no issues, highly recommend the car. Just one thing you should know is that you're definitely going to want to upgrade the tires if you intend to drive this car how it's meant to be driven. So yeah, definitely a great car. Oh, I think we got a Hellcat right here. Yeah, Charger Hellcat was going down there. Heard the whine. See if I can show you guys it down there. Yeah, all the way down there, Charger Hellcat. Heard the whine from all the way down there. That's how loud it is. But yeah, like I was saying, highly recommend the Challenger or Charger. Just one thing you got to keep in mind is that you're gonna have to upgrade the tires if you intend on driving this car like it's meant to be driven and, you know, have fun with it. But also you got to know when to drive like a grandma. So guys, that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure to drop those down in the comments below. And if you guys have any video suggestions for videos you would like to see in the future, make sure to also drop those down in the comments below. We do have some more Jeep content coming. We're going to be upgrading some parts of the cooling system. So yeah, you can definitely look out for those videos. And if you guys like this video or found it entertaining, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.